Everybody's gonna be at work except for managers. Yes. Contradictory characters in the same nature, strength through suffering, pleasure after pain, sacrifice and trouble, yet strength arising therefrom, symbolized by the position of the rose, as though the pain itself had brought forth beauty, arrangement, peace restored, truth and untruth, sorrow and sympathy, aid to the weak, arrangement, justice, unselfishness, also a tendency to repetition of affronts, of being pardoned, injury when meaning well, given to petitions, also a want of tact and asking questions of little moment, talkative, Kokma of vow, quarrel made up, yet still some tension in relations, action sometimes selfish, sometimes unselfish, herein rule the great angels. Contradictory. The Lord of Sorrow, 3 of swords or spears, 3 white radiating angelic hands issuing from clouds, and holding 3 swords upright, as though the central sword had struck apart the 2 others, which were crossed in the preceding symbol. The central sword cuts asunder the rows of 5 petals which in the previous symbol grew at the junction of the swords. Its petals are falling, and no white rays issue from it. Above and below the central sword are the symbols disruption, interruption, separation, quarreling, sowing of discord and strife, mischief making, sorrow and tears, yet mirth and platonic pleasures, singing, faithfulness in promises, honesty in money transactions, selfish and dissipated, yet sometimes generous, deceitful in words and repetitions, the whole according to dignity, Bina of unhappiness. Bina, unhappiness, sorrow, and tears, herein rule the great angels as lords of the deacon. The lord of the rest from strife, 4 of swords, 2 white radiating angelic hands, each holding 2 swords, which 4 cross in the center. The rows of 5 petals with white radiations is reinstated on the point of their intersection. Above and below on the points of 2 small daggers are, representing the decanate, rest from sorrow, yet after and through it, peace from and after war, relaxation of anxiety, quietness, rest, ease, and plenty, yet after struggle, goods of this life, abundance, modified by dignity as is usual, chesed, convalescence, recovery from sickness, change for the better, herein do bear rule. 30, the Lord of loss in pleasure. 5 of cups or chalices. A white radiating angelic hand holding lotuses of water lilies. Beyond happiness. The Lord of illusionary success, 7 of chalices. The 7 cups are arranged as 2 descending triangles above a point. A hand, as usual, holds lotus stems which arise from the central lower cup. The hand is above this cup and below the middle one. With the exception of the central lower cup, each is overhung by a lotus flower, but no water falls from these into any of the cups, which are all quite empty. Above and below are the symbols of the decanate. Possible victory, but neutralized by the suppiness of the person. Illusionary success, deceptive in the moment of apparent victory. Lying, error, promises unfulfilled, drunkenness, wrath, vanity, lust, fornication, violence against women, selfish dissipation, deception in love and friendship, often success gained but not followed up, modified as usual by dignity, netzach, lying, promises unfulfilled, illusion, deception, error, slight success at outset, not retained herein the angel's rule. The Lord of swiftness, 8 of wands or torches, 4 white radiating angelic hands, 2 proceeding from each side, issuing from clouds, clasped in 2 pairs in the center with the grip of the first order. They hold 8 wands, crossed 4 with 4. Flames issue from the point of junction, surmounting the small wands with flames issuing down them, and placed in the center at the top and bottom of the card respectively are the symbols for the deacon. Too much force applied too suddenly, very rapid rush, but quickly passed and expended, violent but not lasting, swiftness, rapidity, courage, boldness, confidence, freedom, warfare, violence, love of open air, field sports, gardens and meadows, generous, subtle, eloquent, yet somewhat untrustworthy, rapacious, insolent, oppressive, theft and robbery according to dignity, hard of your hasty communications and messages, swiftness that rule the angels. Or torches. The Lord of great strength, 9 of wands or torches, 4 hands, as in the previous symbol, holding 8 wands crossed 4 and 4. But the 5th hand, the foot of the card, holds another wand upright, which traverses the point of junction with the others. Flames leap herefrom, above and below are the symbols. Tremendous and steady force that cannot be shaken. Herculean strength, it's sometimes scientifically applied. Great success, but with strife and energy. Victory preceded by apprehension and fear. Health good, and recovery not in doubt. Generous, questioning and curious. Fond of external appearances. Intractable, obstinate. Yes, sword of Yod. Strength, power, health, recovery from sickness, herein rule the angels. The Lord of oppression, 10 of wands, 4 hands holding, 8 wands crossed as before, a 5th hand holding 2 wands upright, which traverses the junction of the others, flames issuant, cruel and overbearing force and energy, but applied only to material and selfish ends, sometimes shows failure in a matter, and the opposition too strong to be controlled, arising from the person's too great selfishness at the beginning, ill will, levity, lying, malice, slander, envy, obstinacy, swiftness and evil and deceit, if ill-dignified. Also generosity, disinterestedness, and self-sacrifice when well dignified. Malkuth, cruelty, malice, revenge, and justice therein rule, and the law. The Lord of harmonious change, two of discs or pentacles, two wheels, discs or pentacles, similar to that of the ace. They are united by a green and gold serpent bound about them like a figure of eight. It holds its tail in its mouth. A white radiant angelic hand holds the center of the whole. No roses enter into this card. Above and below are the symbols of 4 and Virgo. It is a revolving symbol. The harmony of change, alternation of gain and loss, weakness and strength, ever-changing occupation, wandering, discontented with any fixed condition of things, now elated then melancholy, industrious yet unreliable, fortunate through prudence of management, yet sometimes unaccountably foolish, alternatively talkative and suspicious, kind yet wavering and inconsistent, fortunate in journeying, argumentative, Kokma, pleasant change, visit to friends here in the angels have rule. Harmonious change. The Lord of material works, 3 of pentacles. A white-winged angelic hand is before, holding a branch of a rose tree, of which 2 white rosebuds touch and surmount the topmost pentacle. The pentacles are arranged in an equilateral triangle, above and below, the symbols of man and Virgo, working and constructive force, building up, creation, erection, realization, and increase of material things, gain in commercial transactions, rank, increase of substance, influence, cleverness in business, selfishness, commencement of matters to be established later, narrow and prejudiced, keen in matters of gain, sometimes given to seeking after impossibilities, Bina, the Lord of material work. Bina, business, paid employment, commercial transaction, herein are angels, angelic rulers. The Lord of earthly power, 4 of pentacles, a hand holding a branch of a rose tree, but without flowers or buds, save that in the center is one fully blown white rose. Pentacles are disposed as on the points of a square, a rose in its center, symbols, and above and below to represent the deacon. Assured material gain, success, rank, dominion, earthly power, completed but leading to nothing beyond. Prejudicial, covetous, suspicious, careful and orderly, but discontented. Little enterprise or originality, according to dignity as usual. Chesed, gain of money or influence, a present, herein do bear rule. The Lord of defeat. The Lord of defeat, 5 of swords, 2 rayed angelic hands, each holding 2 swords nearly upright but falling apart of each other, right and left of the card. A third hand holds a sword upright in the center as though it had disunited them. The petals of the rose, which in the 4 had been reinstated in the center, are torn asunder and falling above and below, are for the deacon. Woman requires. Contest finished and decided against the person. Failure, defeat, anxiety, trouble, poverty, avarice, grieving after gain, laborious, unresting, loss and vileness of nature, malicious, slanderous, lying, spiteful, and tale-bearing, a busybody and separated of friends, hating to see peace and love between others, cool yet cowardly, thankless and unreliable, clever and quick in thought and speech, feelings of pity easily roused but unenduring. Gebura, of defeat, 5 of Gebura, defeat, loss, malice, spite, slander, evil speaking. Herein the angels bear rule. The Lord of earned success. 6 of swords, 2 hands as before, each holding 2 swords which cross in the center. Rows re-established thereon. Above and below, supported on the points of 2 short daggers or swords. Success, after anxiety and trouble, self-esteem, beauty, conceit, with sometimes modesty therewith, dominance, patience, labor. Tifereth of labor, work, journey by water, ruled by the great angels. The Lord of unstable effort, 7 of swords. 2 angelic radiating hands as before, each holding 3 swords. A third hand holds up a single sword in the center. The points of all the swords just touch each other. Central sword not altogether dividing them. The rows of the previous symbols of the suit is held up by the same hand which holds the central sword, as if the victory were at its disposal. Symbol of moon and Aquarius. Partial success, yielding when victory is within grasp.